What's up, guys? It's Josh here, back with another Kansas City Chiefs related video, and today I'm going to go over all the Chiefs day 3 draft picks and give my quick opinions on each of them. Day 3 of the draft just wrapped up. The Chiefs made 3 selections, and we will get into all of them, and I will also have a video out a little bit later just grading the overall class by Brett Veach and the Kansas City Chiefs. And just to give a little sneak peek on that, I will say this has the potential to be Brett Veach's best draft class yet. And I'm someone that's been really critical of Brett Veach, so when you hear me say that, like, I mean it, man. So, we're going to go ahead and get right into it and give my take on each pick and just tell you what I know about each player. So let's jump right in. So with pick 144 in the 2021 NFL Draft in the 4th round, the Kansas City Chiefs took Florida State defensive end Joshua Kaindoh. So my first impression when I saw this pick was I like it a lot. Kaindoh has a very good athletic profile, and he actually ended up with a relative athletic score in the high 9s, which is very good. The highest you can get is a 10. And look, this guy's got good burst off the line. He's got good bendability to get around the corner. He's got all the physical tools to be a good defensive end. I mean, this guy was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. But the problem is Florida State as a program just has not done good developing their players. They have way too much talent to be as bad as they are, and even Florida State fans can agree with me when I say that. And I say that with a heavy heart, too, because I'm someone that is a big fan of the Florida State program. Even though I'm a Mizzou fan, Florida State has been a team that I've followed some, and I've had some of my favorite players come from there, like Kelvin Benjamin and Cam Akers. You know, I really like a lot of those guys, so it sucks for me to say that, but that's just how I feel. I mean, Tamarion Terry was from there. Janarius Robinson, another edge from this class, who I also liked, was from there. I mean, they were just way too talented to be as bad as they were. But regardless, Kaindoh is a good prospect, a good high upside pass rusher. He's got the size that a typical Steve Spagnuolo edge would have, about 6'7", 270. I mean, really good size. And the issue, again, is just Florida State has not been great at developing their players. He hasn't been super productive. However, in his college career, he had 17 tackles for a loss, 8 sacks, a forced fumble, 2 passes defended, and even an interception. And also a thing I like about him, too, is he's always kind of making a little bit of an extra effort to cause a fumble or a turnover, and he's really good at coming up with some big plays over his time at Florida State. So that's something I really like about him. Kaindoh will just have to develop with the Kansas City Chiefs, and this one's going to be on the coaching staff and to see how much they can get out of him, because again, he's got all the physical tools, but he's just got to get there. He's got to learn how to use his body and use his abilities to be a better defensive end. But he's got good potential as an edge setter. Again, this is a good high upside pass rusher, and in the 4th round, this is one of the better picks the Chiefs probably could have made, and I really like the selection. He's got good upside, and he's just going to have to take time to develop, but it creates competition for Taco Charlton. It creates competition for Mike Dana. That's a nice little young defensive end room that you got right there. So I'm a fan of this pick. I like it. There's maybe some other players they could have taken here, but there's no shame in the Kaindoh pick whatsoever. All right, and then the next pick in the Chiefs draft was at number 165. They traded up in the 5th and selected Duke tight end Noah Gray. I love this pick, and that's because I actually mocked Noah Gray to the Chiefs very early in the process, because this is someone that has a lot of similarities to Travis Kelce, and the fact that the Chiefs traded up for him makes me excited about what they have in store for him. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be Travis Kelce, because that's unfair to him. You can't just ask anyone to be Travis Kelce, but he's got a lot of similar traits to Travis Kelce. He's a smooth route runner. He's able to create separation for himself. He's got a good release off the line of scrimmage. He can take a hit when he makes a catch. He's got very soft hands. If you go back and look at his Senior Bowl film, this dude made all kinds of circus catches. Now, he's a little bit undersized, and he's a little bit limited in running intermediate to deep routes. He only had 1 catch over 25 yards in his career at Duke. He wasn't even super productive in 2020, but some of that is just because of how Duke utilized Gray. But this is someone with a lot of upside and one of my favorite picks in this draft, honestly, because you let this guy just learn behind Travis Kelce for a couple years, and this could look like a great pick. This is someone that you could legitimately run a 2 tight end set with, someone who is another good pass catcher to add to this team. We all wanted the Chiefs to get a wide receiver, and they did, which we'll talk about here in a minute, but they also just needed a pass catcher. It doesn't matter if it was a tight end or a wide receiver, and I really like the pick of Noah Gray. However, Noah Gray, he's not coming here to block. He's got shorter arms anyways. He's not seen as a great blocker, but that's okay because I think the Chiefs got this guy as someone who can be a good pass-catching tight end, and they got enough blocking tight ends on the roster anyways. This is a pick that if it pans out, could be a steal. And look, I don't want to be that guy that acts like every team or every pick that my team makes in the late rounds is a steal. But no, Noah Gray could quite honestly be a steal. I really like this guy. He's got a lot of upside, good footwork, just all kinds of good stuff to work with if you put this guy in Andy Reid's offense. He's a little bit limited, which is why he was picked here in the 5th round. But look, this is someone that you could feel comfortable with on the field if something were to happen to Travis Kelce in the future. So I really like this pick. One of my favorite picks that the Chiefs made today. Oh yeah, and not to mention, this guy was a quarterback in high school. Who does that sound like? Oh yeah, Travis Kelce. See what I mean? Chiefs fans are going to love this guy. And with the 181st pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, again in the 5th round, the Kansas City Chiefs selected Clemson wide receiver Cornell Powell. And we all wanted a wide receiver, and we got one. And the Chiefs got one of the better late-round prospects. Dan Harms from over at RGR Football really sold me on this guy with his Day 3 prospects video that came out a day or two before the draft started. This is someone that was buried on the Clemson wide receiver depth chart since he got there, but he didn't complain. He worked hard. He showed up every day and made the most of his opportunity. He stayed at Clemson for a 5th year, and he finally broke out. He never even recorded more than 20 catches in a season before 2020, where he had 53 receptions for 882 yards and 7 touchdowns. And this guy, he's got underrated speed. He runs a 4.5, but trust me, his speed on the field is a little bit different than that. He's a good route runner. I know if I make another video going more in depth on Cornell Powell, you guys will see this one route he ran against Ohio State where he just absolutely cooked the Ohio State defender. It was a nasty route. He's a big physical receiver, someone that can play that X role, about 6 feet, 210 pounds. One of the Chiefs' scouting directors said this guy could be a good post-up wide receiver that can make tough catches in traffic and can be a red zone threat. I really like this pick. I think one of the analysts on TV even said when Powell was selected that this guy could pick up right where Sammy Watkins left off, and that just makes me really excited because this really is a great pick. This is someone that might start out as a special teamer but will eventually make his way into the rotation, in my opinion. I love the Cornell Powell pick. This was one of the better receiver pickups the Chiefs could have made in the later rounds, and I'm really glad they did. Cornell Powell is an absolute monster and finally broke out at Clemson last year after being buried on their depth chart. You can kind of compare this guy to kind of almost the Darrell Williams of wide receivers over at Clemson. Darrell Williams was someone that was buried on the LSU depth chart as a running back, but was just really a good player, but there was just not a ton of room for him for snaps. Cornell Powell, a little bit of the same way, but very talented receiver. I really like this pick. Can't wait to see what he does. And then with their new 6th round pick, the Kansas City Chiefs took, with their last pick, Trey Smith, offensive lineman, Tennessee. Let me tell you, this guy might actually be the steal of the draft. Again, I hate to be that fan that says that about their own team's picks, but Trey Smith was someone that was he was a top 100 talent, okay? He might have went into the 2nd or 3rd or whatever if his medical's checked out. However, he has this strange medical history. I say strange. That's probably the wrong word to use for it, but it's an unfortunate medical history. He's dealt with blood clots over the past couple years, but when he's been on the field, he's been one of the best guards in all of the nation. This guy he's a road grader in the run game. He's very athletic. Relative athletic score, which I brought up frequently to talk about players. Guess what he got? He got a 9.91 out of 10, which ranked 11 out of a possible 1,152 offensive guards dating all the way back from 1987. So that's kind of a lot to think about, but basically this guy is super athletic. He's got a ton of upside. Like, this might actually be the steal of the draft. Like, this guy was like one of the best guards talent-wise in the draft, and he just fell all the way to Kansas City in the 6th round. And just looking on Twitter right now, people are pissed that the Chiefs got this guy. This is someone that at this point is worth the risk, because if he works out, man, this Chiefs offensive line, whew! Orlando Brown, Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and Lucas Niang in the future. I mean, holy cow. This pick is interesting. This is someone who might take some time. And again, his medicals have to check out and everything, but this dude was someone that people thought was maybe going to go on day 2 and, maybe had day 1 talent, but drops all the way to the 6th. That's a really good pick. And PFF Chiefs even tweeted out something about him. So in 2019, he had about a 70 overall pass block grade and an 83.9 run block grade. And in 2020, he had a 73.4 overall grade, 73.1 in pass block, 72.4 in run block. So I really like this. PFF, KC Chiefs even said that the PFF big board had Trey Smith as the 85th best player on their board and guard number 3 on the PFF big board. So getting that in the 6th round, that's a heck of a pick. So yeah, like I said, later on, I'm going to have a video grading the Chiefs draft class in full. And again, to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek on that, this might be one of the best drafts Brett Veach has had since he's been here. And again, as a big Brett Veach critic, that's saying something. So let me know what you guys thought of the picks today. And if you agree, disagree with anything I said, but I really like all these picks. I got nothing to complain about. So make sure you like, share, subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. And make sure you check out my work on showmefootball.com and Arrowhead Addict. That's all I got for today. Peace.